Good afternoon everyone, welcome back to another episode of Dubai or Not Dubai. We are currently in Port De La Mer, so I'm going to take you through what an afternoon in Port De La Mer looks like with me. Stay tuned because I'm going to go through the price to rent ratio once we've made it to one of the apartments, and I'm also going to check out two new apartments that are coming to market for a client that's coming here on Sunday. So let's go. For those of you who I've not shown Port De La Mer to before, it is super peaceful, very Mediterranean vibes, and you have this beautiful marina basically the whole way across. Over here where the cranes are is going to be a Grand Melia 5-star hotel, and these are the last ones that are being constructed, and they will be done supposed to be Q2 but probably Q3 of this year. But as you can see, it's absolutely stunning, very nice vibes here. This 2-bed is absolutely stunning. This is one of my favourite layouts in Port De La Mer because you have a view in every single room and each of the views are different. Honestly, it's crazy. The reason why I love Port De La Mer is you've got sea views, you've got pool views, you've got beautiful villa views, you've got the skyline, and in this particular property you can see all of them. So let me have a look and take you around it with me. I feel like it's pretty easy to see why this is my favourite, but here's the front door. So you come in this way, it's like a private little entrance, and then you come through into the living and dining area. It's such a good space for a 2-bed. And then you've also got like a semi-closed off kitchen, which is different to a lot of the other layouts. So the tenants actually just moved out of this like a couple of weeks ago. So everything is still rather fresh. And then you also have like extra laundry and storage space in here. Now, obviously one of the best parts is how big the balcony is to start off with, but also like that open sea is stunning, and the open sea and the tiny little bit of high rise just over here. There's something about a UAE giant flag that just makes my heart very happy. But anyways, we'll carry on with the tour. So after that, we then come through into the just like the little washroom here. This is the second bedroom, so the slightly smaller one. Still comes with an ensuite and like really huge mirror space. And the best part about everything in Port De La Mer is that it comes with complete built-in storage, which I think is super cool. The view from this window is that giant flag that I'm absolutely loving. And also from this way, you've got a bit of the community and also one of the pools over there as well. And then the master bedroom is probably my favorite part because firstly, we have a built-in like semi-closed off walk-in wardrobe, which just gives you so much storage. And then you come in and there is just ample amounts of room, which I don't feel like you find very often in Dubai anymore. The view for this one, we've got the swimming pool, and then you've also got a snippet of the Dubai skyline through the buildings, which is so pretty, and you can still see that lovely flag that I keep talking about over there. And then you've obviously got the ensuite for this as well. It's a double vanity sink and then just a shower in this one. So yeah, this is one of my favourite layouts. I could sit in this living room with someone cooking and then just come out of an evening and just soak in that. Stunning. Okay, so I said I was also going to touch upon something called the price to rent ratio, which I sent out to Port De La Mer owners. However, this is really important if you're a property owner in Dubai or if you're stuck between the idea of buying or renting. Now, it's very specific to each individual location, which is why it's crucial to make sure you have the right data when you're doing it. But I'm just going to give you the example in Port De La Mer, just so that you can see the kind of calculations that are basically needed in order to do it. So basically what you do is you take the last month of transactions. So all of the sales transactions, you then add them all up and divide them by the number that there is, and that will give you the average sales price. So just for Port De La Mer, just because it's a little bit easier, in Port De La Mer, the average sale price for the last month was 3.23 million. That was the average sale price that came out. You then do the exact same thing for rental contracts. So it's just the last month. You add up all of the rental contracts and you divide it by the number of rental contracts that there are. And for Port De La Mer, this was 171,515,000 dirham. Okay, so you have the average sales price and the average rental price for the last month within your specific area. Now what you do is you divide these and it will give you a number between 1 and 20. So this number, actually for Port de la Mer, comes out exactly at, 1 second, 18.8. Now you're probably like, what on earth does that mean? Here's where the important part comes in. The 1 to 20 ratio is split into 3 sections. So it's split into 1 to 16, 16 to 20, and 20 plus. Now, if your area sits within 1 to 16, it means that it's actually a buyer's market. So therefore, if your property sits under the value of 16 within your area, it's actually better to sell and for buyers to buy. If it sits somewhere in the middle at 16 to 20, it means you're in a balanced market, which means it makes no sense either way to buy or to rent. There's no lenient towards one way or the other, which means either option that you choose is fine. If it's above 20, that means it's a rental market. So very much not looking to buy within that area. It doesn't make sense where the current market currently is within that specific area. So 1 to 16, buy. 16 to 20, you can do either or. And 20 plus, rent, do not buy. Now, this will differ massively between different locations across Dubai. 18.8 obviously sits between a balanced market, but it is a little bit closer towards the 20. But right now, it doesn't make sense either way. So that means that either decision that you make specifically within Port de la Mer is fine. Now, I'm going to do a couple of other comparables, not comparables in terms of location, but just so that you can see that if you take a completely different location and area in Dubai, that number will range massively, and it doesn't have anything on like where the current market is. It's so specific to each location, which is why when you're buying or renting here in Dubai, it's important to narrow down the location of where suits you best, because things like this and these numbers really matter. Anyways, we're going to move on to another apartment that I'm also going to hopefully show my clients on Sunday. I haven't been inside this one either, so let's go check it out. Port De La Mer well and truly has my heart as an area and location in Dubai. It is such a different feel to being in the hustle and bustle, but with the convenience of literally being like 15 minutes to downtown. It kind of just has everything if you like a slightly slower pace of life, and also if you like to be by the sea and have a waterfront view. It's got a real like community feel, and you get to look at stunning yachts all day over the marina as well. But anywho, not selling, just saying I hope to live here one day in the future for sure. That's how much I love it. We are heading to one of the newer buildings, Le Serene Building 3, to check out another 2-bed. So yeah, let's go. But look how stunning it is behind me. Okay, so for this one we have a completely different layout. Here's the door, and as you come in it's like already fully open. Now I should have come a little bit earlier because there's no electricity as the diva isn't connected, but you can still see. So this is one of the brand new ones. You can see like the finishings are exactly the same throughout the whole of Port de la Mer, which does make it a lot easier for people when they come to decide, because there isn't much difference. It's just the layouts and the views. So this is actually the same square foot as the other one, but obviously there's slight differences. This is a lot longer in this one than the other one, and you don't have like that extra little bit of living and dining area. This is just a full square. Now hopefully this is open. Yeah, The view for this again is completely different. So we're on the second floor on this one. You've got my lovely flag that I was talking about earlier. So there is still some water there, which is really, really nice. And you also have the clock tower, which people seem to love. The rest of the view is a community view, which in Port De La Mer is lucky because it's still like, when people think like community view, they always think that's not great. However, because everything is so pretty in Port De La Mer, it's actually not that bad to look at. And these here are the Sur La Mer townhouses. They're 3 stories, about 6,000 square foot built up area. And these go for around 10 million for a 3-bed. 16 million for a 4-bed and about 25 million for a 5-bed. They obviously run all the way along the water that side, and then just through that gap there, I don't know if you can see if I zoom in. Oh, there we go. This is also like the back side of the marina, so the townhouses also run all the way along there as well. But anyways, back to the tour. Don't know what's happened. There we go. So yeah, here's basically the layout. It's got a very different feel in comparison to the other one. Apologies, it's so dark. But again, you've got like the guest suite, and the storage for this one is here. So it's like in the corridor. This is again the 2nd bedroom. The size is pretty much the same. And obviously you have the full built-in wardrobes as you do in all of them. Bathroom is also exactly the same as well, but there's no bath, just a shower. And then for this one, we have the built-in walk-in wardrobes again, and then the bedroom. Double vanity sinks as before, and also shower in this one. So now I've showed you 2 completely different apartments. I'm going to be showing my client both of these at the weekend on Sunday. But I hope the price to rent ratio was helpful. It's kind of helpful for everybody, buyers, people that are looking to rent, and obviously for landlords and sellers as well, just to know kind of what actually is going to work for them within the specific time frame that they're looking. It can change quite drastically, obviously dependent on the transactions, if the market increases or decreases, but it's just a really good way of like cementing the decision that you're making, which are always big decisions: buying, renting, selling, or a landlord. They're big decisions to make. So obviously going on facts, figures and statistics is always super helpful, so you can use that as well. But I hope you enjoyed my afternoon vlog at Port De La Mer. I am going to really quickly actually walk to the shop, which is on the other side, so I'll take you with me that way so you can see the courtyard, the shops, boutiques and restaurants, and of course the nice big yachts. But I will see you next week. Next week is a really exciting episode. I am going to a lovely palm villa, which one of my colleagues, Charlie, has actually just rented out on an 11 million dirham contract. The villa is worth 50 million dirham, and I will not say any more than that because you will see it next week. Make sure you like, share and subscribe. See you.
在春风吹拂的季节，梦想的种子在心间发芽。